Okay, so screens on, please. If I've asked you to turn on your screen, please have your screen on. And I'll remind you that we've just started a new unit in language arts. And for this unit, we're writing an opinion-based essay. So having an opinion is a good thing. It means you're thinking. And kids have all sorts of great opinions and are actually pretty good at arguing with their parents to try to get their way. Being able to convince other people of your opinion is a great skill. And I'm sure there are a lot of topics that you care a lot about. The way that this unit goes, I showed you this morning, but I'm just going to show you one more time how writing is going to work this unit. So we're in unit 3 in language arts. And if you go to the units and you go to language arts, you're going to see that I added a little thing at the front of the mod that says writing for mod 3 opinion-based essay. And it talks about it. And after today, I'm going to post this video here on how to generate ideas for opinion-based essays. And then each day after we do the lesson, I'll post the lesson here. So you can look for it here. I'll also put it into the resources. You have a choice. Would you agree or disagree that Genevieve is a creative person? You can write about that if you like. They're going to be teaching you about Genevieve throughout these units, throughout these modules, and you can think about her if you like, and then give evidence from the story. Or you can pick a topic of your choice. Either way, you need to know how to come up with good topics to write about when you want to write an opinion-based essay. So how do you come up with an opinion-based essay topic? Everybody right now, if you have one, grab your writer's notebook. So go and get your writer's notebook, get a piece of paper, open up the document that you have been doing some writing in. If you've been taking notes online, go to the back of it where we made those charts at the start of the year about ways to come up with narrative stories, how to generate or come up with narrative stories, and go to the next clean page in the back of your notebook for topics that are good topics for opinion-based essays, please. And I don't have very many clean pages in mine. Oh, here we go. I found a clean page. I'm also going to look in another one of my booklets and see if I have this topic already. So what I like to do is I like to use you guys to come up with topics that you care about, because obviously kids know what kids are interested in the most. So one thing you can do is you can look at your stories that are in your back of your notebook, your generating ideas area. So I'm going to wait a second because I can see people are going to get their notebooks. Go get your notebook. Now, when you look at these ideas that you have in the back of your notebook for stories of places and people that are important to you, you can also write about that same incident, like the story of my brother and throwing the pie at the TV and everything. You can ask yourself, what opinion do I have about that? And I think that I have lots of opinions about that. For example, I could write about, and I'm going to actually put in here that one way to get opinion-based essay ideas is to look at your narrative story ideas and ask yourself, what opinions do I have about these stories? So when I'm looking at my, for example, with my brother, my bully brother, and the pie. So if you remember that story about me throwing that pie at my brother, I could just ask myself, like, what ideas do I have about that? Well, one idea I have is that parents shouldn't let older siblings bully younger siblings. Okay, so I could write a whole essay about that. I could say parents, because my parents never believed me when I told them that he was bullying me, shouldn't let older siblings bully younger siblings. I also kind of learned in that same lesson that I should be more patient with my brother. Like, it's good to have patience with people who irritate you. And I could try and write an essay on that. It's good to have patience with people who irritate you, because you want people to have patience with you when you're being irritating. I maybe have an opinion about, like, kids need a chance to learn how to work things out on their own. So it used to be that our parents didn't really supervise us that much, and we got up to all sorts of mischief, but I suppose we learned from it, right? But so one way to get an idea for an opinion-based essay is to look at your stories. You tend to have stories about the same thing. You know, I have a story about my mom getting mad at me. And I might want to write an essay about my mom is an interesting person. And I might want to give 3 reasons why she's interesting, right? Or I might want to write that relationships with your parents are complicated. I see there's 2 hands raised. Go ahead, Nora.
So, like, how long does it have to be?
So we're going to talk about that later, about the structure and everything. All we're talking about today is how to get an idea to write about. Okay.
Okay.
So the first way that you get an idea is you look at your stories and ask yourself, what ideas, what opinions do I have from my stories? Okay. Lauren, what's your question?
So I know this isn't like on topic, but I'm done with all of my homework for this week.
You sent me an email about that, and we can
I know.
talk about it later, but we're in the middle of a writing session.
Okay.
Talk to me later. Another way to get an idea is ask yourself, what are some big issues that matter to me? Now, when I say big issues, actually, I don't even want to use the word big. What are some issues that matter to me? I don't want you to choose like global warming. That's just way too big. It needs to be a local issue, something in your life, something in your day-to-day life. And one way to find this is like, what are some things you try to convince your parents of? Okay, so what are some things you can think about that you try to convince your parents? Things like, I need a later bedtime, right? What are some issues like that that you guys can think of? Or I need a cell phone, or I should be able to earn a Xbox, whatever. What are some issues like that that you sort of debate with your parents? Who can come up with one? Nobody has any ideas?
Wait, say it. Wait, say it again.
So what are some issues that you have discussions with your parents at home and try to convince them of? Things like, I need a later bedtime.
Give me exactly that, and also to like
So what do you think? Like, kids should be able to earn a later bedtime?
Yes.
Okay, that's a good issue. Nora, you had your hand raised. Did you think of one?
Yeah, I was thinking like parents don't need to remind you of the same thing every single time.
Okay, so like kids need to learn how to do their own, like to remember their own tasks without parents reminding them.
Yeah, like
kids
we need parents to remind us all the time.
Okay, so how about just, it isn't great for parents to keep, can I use the word nagging or reminding their kids all the time? And you could come up with 3 reasons it's not great, like it doesn't teach you to do it for yourself, or it's super irritating, right? Good, that's a great topic. Who else has a topic? What's something you care about? Cell phones, video games, what you eat, bedtimes, friendships, online stuff. What are some things you care about? Going to in-person versus going to online school. What opinions do you have? Everybody thinking of one? Unmute and tell me your ideas, guys. I know you have more ideas than this.
Or in-person school.
What's that?
Online school, in-person school.
So, but what's your opinion about it? Like, you could say that online school is good for kids.
Yeah, because
Okay.
COVID's happening and kids might get sick.
And you're moving into the next step, which is where you start to think of reasons. But right now we're just thinking of topics. Online school is good for kids. Perfect. What other topics can you think of? Come on, guys. Things that you care about at home. School, taking care of pets. How about pets? Do you think pets are important?
Yeah, pets are important.
You think pets are important?
Like make sure you take care of your pets.
Do you think that pets teach kids responsibility?
Yeah,
Okay.
they do.
Yeah, because you have to be responsible with a pet.
Do you think that parents should all parents should let kids have a pet? Or all kids should have pets?
Yeah, because that shows how responsible they can be too. If they're all like home alone, you have to take care of your pet and you'll be responsible.
Well, I hear you saying something else, that pets can be good friends.
Yeah.
That's a whole different one. So there's lots of things about pets. Pets are important. Pets teach kids responsibility. You could talk about 3 ways they teach you responsibility. All kids should be allowed to have a pet. Pets can be good friends. What else? Does anybody have a negative one about pets? Like pets are more trouble than they're worth? Anybody not like pets? Yes, Sophia says that. That's great. That's your opinion. The great thing about opinions is you can argue one way or the other. So pets are more trouble than they are worth. They're smelly, they're hairy, they're expensive. What else? What are some opinions you have about bedtime or food or baths or being forced to clean up your room or chores? Come on, Sasha. Come on, Vivi. I know you guys have opinions. Brianna, Nora, go ahead. And I'm
so,
sorry, I'm
like,
not looking in the chat. There might be something in there.
we shouldn't always have to like clean our room.
Oh, I'm typing in the wrong thing. Okay, kids should not have to clean their rooms.
Yeah.
Well, let's just put have to do chores. Is there anybody who thinks that chores are good for kids? Chores are good for kids. Do you see how most opinion-based essay topics can go one way or the other? So what are some other things? What about things like the first one? Kids should be able to earn a later bedtime. What about things like bedtimes and limits are good for kids? Would anybody say that's true?
Yeah.
Okay. Bed limits, like limits to how much time online, bedtimes, things like that are good for kids. What else do you feel strongly about that parents should do or kids should do? What do you think is important?
How much water they drink?
So is it important for kids to be healthy?
Yeah.
Okay. It is important for kids to learn how to be healthy. And that would be like things like drinking water, eating right, and exercise or something like that. That would be great. Health is important. Great. Who else has one? Toys, money. Do you think kids should have allowances?
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Allowances. Is there anybody who doesn't think kids should have allowances and thinks that their parents are already paying for everything and that kids don't need allowances? Maybe?
I think kids
Should work for their parents for free because their parents already pay for everything. What about things like responsibilities? Do you think kids should learn to cook? Do you think kids should all learn to swim or ride a bike?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Are those things important?
Yep.
All kids should learn
how
to
cook.
ride a bike. How about swim?
All kids should be treated equally.
Okay. Do you think just you should treat people equally as one? Or
Yeah.
other people should treat you equally? Equally. Okay, that's a good one. What else? I see you guys are getting the hang of this. What else matters to kids a lot? What about cell phones? Do you think all kids should have a cell phone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people say yes, some people may say no. So kids should have, you could write it, kids should have a cell phone for these 3 reasons, or should not. Should not have a cell phone. You'd have to pick one. So the thing about an opinion is you might sort of be in the middle and sort of think it both ways, but you want to write a strong essay by choosing one argument you want to make. So pick a topic that you feel very strongly about. Nora.
So this isn't like an opinion, but can you like send this to us?
Yes, you will have a link to this. Older
Okay.
siblings should help care for younger siblings. And you are going to be asked to choose a topic this week. Any other topics that you guys have? I'm going to bring these up. These were ones that we have from years past that kids cared about. I didn't bring them up right away because I figured you'd come up with most of them. It's important for kids. So a lot of these are the same. Every kid should have a chance to be on a team, or kids shouldn't be forced to take classes they don't want, right? Kids shouldn't be forced to do things they aren't comfortable doing. Do any of your parents push you into taking classes or anything that you don't want to take?
No.
I see some yeses, some nos. Travel is good for kids. Computers have helped us to connect. Studying history helps us make better choices, Lauren. COVID has made it harder to connect. COVID maybe has brought families together. Maybe you feel that way because now you hang out with your family all the time. And otherwise you would have been gone all day. Anything else? Schools should have uniforms, kids should have a say in what they eat. All right. Well, those are my 2 big ways to come up with essay ideas. Right now, I'm going to share this list with you. And you can go on there and look at the list. You can take one of those topics and pick it for your own, or you can change it or come up with another one that you like a lot. But this week, actually probably by tomorrow, I want you to have a topic, because then we're going to work on writing the first part of our essay, which is our thesis statement. So I'm copying the link. Done. I'm going to stop my sharing, put it in the chat, and then I'm going to post this lesson on how to come up with ideas. It's pretty similar to how you came up with ideas for your narrative stories, except you're really thinking of an opinion. An opinion, remember, is something that can go one way or another. You can say yes to it or no to it. And there's no right answer, right? But it's your job to convince me, to pretend like I'm a person who doesn't believe what you have to say and try and convince me with lots of evidence and examples and explanations. Any questions about writing? Okay, now I'm going to stop the recording.